the shattered flower pot that mended my broken heart. The late afternoon sun was hitting the glass windows of the crowded plant nursery, making the green leaves of the ferns glow like emeralds. We were walking through the aisles, surrounded by life, growth, and vibrant color, but completely wrapped in our own freezing, suffocating silence. We had been married for 8 years, and lately, it felt like we were just two ghosts haunting the same house. No fights, no shouting, just that quiet, devastating distance that numbs your chest over time. I remember looking at Liam as he held a small bag of potting soil, his jaw tight, his eyes staring blankly ahead. I felt this immense, hollow ache, wondering when we had stopped talking. When did the man who used to look at me like I was his entire world turn into this silent stranger? Then, the heavy silence between us was cut by a loud, crashing smash. A few feet away, near the heavy concrete fountains, an older woman in a faded sun hat had tried to adjust a massive, beautifully blooming terracotta orchid pot. In the process, her grip slipped, and the heavy pot slammed onto the brick walkway. The terracotta burst completely open. Rich black dirt scattered across the high-traffic path, and the delicate, exposed roots of the orchid lay tangled amidst the sharp, broken shards. The old woman froze, looking down at the mess, her hands shaking slightly as she pressed them to her cheeks. She looked so incredibly overwhelmed and completely embarrassed. I saw her. I felt a quick flash of sympathy, but I stayed right where I was. I told myself that the nursery employees would clean it up, that getting involved would just make her feel more self-conscious, that we needed to pay and get home. I rationalized my own comfort. But Liam didn't even hesitate. He didn't ask me if it was okay, and he didn't say a single word. He just handed me the bag of soil, stepped out of our aisle, and walked straight over to the mess. I stood there watching. Liam didn't rush over like some loud hero trying to make a scene. He just walked up slowly, with a gentle smile, and dropped right down onto his hands and knees on that hard, dirty brick floor. He got completely down on the old woman's level, using his own bare hands to quickly and carefully move the sharp terracotta shards away from the fragile plant. He even looked up, gave her a reassuring wink, and softly told her that the orchid was going to be just fine, instantly relaxing her tense shoulders. For the next 10 minutes, I just watched my husband. He stayed low on that dirty ground, completely ignoring the busy shoppers pushing past him. He didn't look at his watch. He didn't glance back at me to see if I was paying attention. He was just completely, beautifully present for a stranger who was having a vulnerable, difficult moment. And looking at him from across the aisle, it felt like a heavy veil was ripped straight off my eyes. The man who always quietly checks the oil in my car, the man who takes care of the world around him without ever demanding a thank you. He hadn't gone anywhere. He hadn't changed. I was just the one who had stopped looking. I had been so consumed by my own exhaustion, so focused on everything that felt hard about our life, that I had completely blinded myself to the quiet, brilliant goodness of his soul. Liam stood up, holding the rescued orchid gently in a new plastic pot an employee had brought over, and gave the woman a warm smile. Then, he walked back to me. He stepped into the slot next to me, wiped a streak of black dirt from his jeans, and looked over with a soft, slightly sheepish grin. Sorry about that, babe. Just wanted to help her save the plant. My throat was so tight with tears, I couldn't even speak. I didn't say a word. I just reached out, took his dirty, calloused hand, and squeezed it, so hard my fingers hurt. He looked a little surprised, but then, his eyes softened, he locked his fingers through mine, and he held on. And for the first time in years, the distance between us completely vanished.